To chase or not to chase? That is the question. A lot of times we're like, oh, don't chase, wait for a pullback. Well, if you're doing that, whew, boy, not getting many pullbacks in this market. We'll see if retail sales can shake things up. Lennar trading in the red after its earnings. No AI. New guest from T3 at 8:35. That's Adam Mesh. It's Tuesday, but it's kind of like a Wednesday because we're not working tomorrow. Let's get pre-market prep started.
Welcome to Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep.
This is a volatile puppy here.
It's all about execution styles and strategies.
All right, good morning, traders and investors. We're looking at the September contract blowing away the closing high, the all-time closing high yesterday. We're flat today. We'll see if we can clear unchanged. All-time high made yesterday, 55.61. The buck steady back over 105 here, up 19 cents at 105.13. TLT pausing down, just call it flat, 93.70. Crude just under $80 at 79.84. That's down 8 cents. Gold a little bit weak, trying to hold support. That's basically flat at 23.28. Silver down 13 cents at 29.25. And Bitcoin, we haven't been talking about not participating in the rally as of late. Bitcoin futures down $1,440 at 65,425. Dennis, another day with a check.
Another game tonight. AB.
You psyched? What time's it on?
8 o'clock. They're 8 o'clock every night now because they got prime time here. Are you betting on it, AB?
I will be, but Dennis, I've got some bad news for you.
I know. I saw the basketball score.
The darts indicator may be in your favor.
I need the darts to work out and not the basketball game because obviously the Celtics finished and this is not good news for my Oilers because it had been following. Obviously, the Mavericks win.
Yeah.
Oilers win. Mavericks lost 3. Oilers lose. I see the pattern. I see it. So that's the bad news.
Well, I know sometimes, and not most of the time, and not most of the people, but sometimes the chat can get a little contentious. Sometimes we have disagreements. But can we all agree on one thing, and that's that Boston doesn't need any more championships? I mean,
they're spoiled.
I've been following sports for like 20 years, I guess, since I was 6, 7 years old. And I feel like that if Boston wins a championship at least once every year, I mean, whether it's the Patriots, which of course won, 6 with Joel's guy, Tom, or the Red Sox who beat the Cardinals in 2004 and then again in 2013. It's unreal how many championships they've won over the past 20 years. No more. And actually, Jason Tatum, he's from St. Louis. He went to the high school right next to mine. Fun fact, my high school actually beat his team when he was a sophomore in high school. I was at that game. You can see me on the sideline if you watch the game on YouTube. So I was kind of rooting for Tatum because he's like a St. Louis guy. But outside of that, he got his title. Now I'm done with Boston sports.
They're so spoiled in Boston. Just so spoiled. Remember, wasn't it one year that they had all 4 of their teams in the finals? I don't think they all won it, but wasn't one year like all 4 of their teams in the finals? I know the Bruins, it was 2011 when they won the Stanley Cup. Wasn't like all the teams there?
With Tim Thomas? Yeah, it might have been. I mean,
one of them. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe
and if they weren't all in the finals, they were probably all
spoiled fans. I mean, you think about Lions fans or Leaf fans or even Oiler fans. Like, I think it is spoiled. Boston's so spoiled, man.
Wow, you guys know, I mean, my penchant for not liking the Celtics goes all the way back to May of 1987 when the Pistons were, up and comer. Do you remember, Dennis? Bird stole the ball. Do you remember that call by Johnny Most?
You're going before me. I was 2 years old.
In 1987?
Actually, I was a little older than that, but I was 11.
What about Havlicek stole the ball?
I don't remember that
I
though.
don't.
No.
No.
87 was a decent year too, though. Tigers went to the World Series.
Lot.
It was
Yeah.
it was close. 84 was the best year though. Oilers and Tigers both won the cup. I
We
was
got
really
a.
spoiled then. Problem is, I was only 8 years old and I didn't appreciate it.
Okay. All right. We're really gonna get in trouble here.
Yeah, they're gonna get mad. They're gonna
Anyway,
get mad.
sports. So
Not
let's talk.
sports stuff.
Sports are out. Market in. Where
Sure.
should we start?
So let's
Lennar
just start-
earnings. Lennar.
Well, we can go to Lennar. Let's go to Lennar. Lennar reported earnings. I'm gonna pull up the numbers real quick. So, home builder, we were talking about it on the pre-market show. Even though it was a good report, EPS came in at $3.38, beat by 15 cents. Revenue of 8.7 billion, beat by 220 million. So beat on both revenue and EPS. And no lower guidance or anything, but the stock is trading lower because not an AI play, not a chip play here. You're building houses, not semiconductors, and the market's deciding that's not a sexy spot to be in right now.
No, it was bid up $3 ahead of the report last night because they didn't report till 4:30, and I was like, I should just short this because one, they're probably going to blow it away, which is kind of scary to be shorting something. But two is it's not an AI play, and if they do blow it away, they probably just sell it off anyways. And that's exactly what they did. They blow it away, and they sell it off anyways. It's just the way this market works. It's a tale of two markets. I know Lennar has been a good stock. People will say it's been a good stock. But really this year, I mean, Lennar has been firing on all cylinders, and the stock is up nothing this year. So, maybe it's digestion from the previous year's gains, which were pretty good. Or maybe it's just the fact that they don't want to own a home builder. They only want to own chips. It's the only thing that works. Name of the show today, the case for Chase. I mean, we can't make any better cases. So we're going to finish with Lennar, and then we're going to give you the case for Chase.
I'd just say really important to look here at the monthlies because you've just had an incredible run, but I love seeing two monthly lows in the same area. And I'm just going to say 150. I mean, look at this. You've had a triple top on the monthly on the upside, and now here you are. I'm going to throw out the low. It's really not that much lower from April, but this is just look at that's a huge area. So the bulls need to step up, and not just today, but over the next few days. Hold this 150 area, then you got a chance a little bit of a retracement. But look at heavy down 396 in the pre-market 2.5%. So I like that as a long-term level in Lennar.
Do you guys mean Chase like the bank?
We knew that was going to happen.
I knew. That's what I said too. But that's what we went for. No, we're not talking about Chase. We're talking about the case for chasing the overall market, for chasing this move in AI. Let's just talk about the market's move yesterday, and specifically the drivers that were bringing the market to new all-time highs yesterday. And of course, it was Broadcom. We've got the chart up for that now. Micron, Apple went up another 2.5% yesterday. And, Dennis tweeted basically saying not really his style to chase, but that's what's working right now. And your style should always be whatever's making money. And that's what's working right now is chasing. So instead of sticking to maybe one exact style of what you like to do, there are different styles that work in different markets. Sometimes it's time to buy the dip. Sometimes it's time to, sell rips. And sometimes it's time to just chase the winners. And that's what it feels like we're in right now.
And chase the stock splitters, the winners and the stock splitters, because the splitters just continue to go. We know NVIDIA ran up 20% after it announced its stock split. AVGO has just been an epic monster here. It's like gone rocket ship mode, and it can't stop here now. So we talked about this yesterday, saying, wish I would have brought it at 1,600, because the algos bought the first 100 points on the split announcement. But you could have got 1,600 as a human being, 1,700, 1,800. Man, we just skip $100 a time, Joel. It goes up $100 yesterday. It's up another 40 here this morning. Probably going up another 100 again because that's what these stocks do. And then CMG is the same story. CMG is splitting next week, June 26th. They're starting to run this ahead of it as well. CMG was up like $60 yesterday. It's up another 51 points here today. I know it's a $3,000 stock, but it's still up 1.5% here when the market's up nothing. So, I mean, this is just the pre-split runs coming for these stocks. I don't know where they stop. I feel like chasing them. it's like, it seems like the right thing to do. Talking to my one trader that I talked to a lot at Bright Trading and last night, and he's like, need to just stop doing like arbitrage and all the other stuff and just actually go and buy like AVGO, like in CMG, just buy those stocks and then just sell them the next day and you make way more money. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And he actually did. And then he made 30 points and he's like, we're doing it all wrong, man. We're like trying to grind out arbitrage type strategies, picking up nickels and dimes and all that. And he's like, I just make 30 points on that like 30 minutes. And that was last night because AVGO just started running last night on no news. No news. No, we just run. I mean, I don't know where all this story ends. It's like not in my blood. Like I have so much trouble chasing stocks because, I've told you those stories back from the early Bright days back in 1999 with the gentleman that was sitting beside me, and he chased everything and he always was losing. And I'm like, I learned the hard way from him. Chasing usually doesn't make you money. Right now, in those stocks, chasing is working. Absolutely working. I don't know when they stop. I don't know when the pony ride ends. And it's going to be vicious one day when they turn around. But holy mackerel, right now, chasing works.
Isn't Lamb Research doing a split too?
Are they? Because it's running. Is Lamb Research doing a split?
Yep.
Yeah.
And this doing so we got what we have, folks. We always try to identify patterns on this show because we're pattern traders. Are the pre-split runs? It's not until October the 2nd. So it's a long ways away. But right now, they got the split trade going right now. LRCX is actually trading up here this morning as well. It's up 0.33%, so not much. But it was running yesterday too. But that's the chips. I mean, get your dip out because the chips are just running here. Micron won't stop, can't stop, just keeps going every day. It's up another $5. Qualcomm won't stop, can't stop. It's up another $8 a day. They don't need any news. They just need the market to be open, and they just go up. It's great. It's bubblicious in the chips.
Yeah. Elon saying, what do I say about it?
That's how you got
Don't
Lisa,
short
right?
it. Don't short it. That's what I'd say.
I don't want to short it.
If you can't participate in it, right? Don't participate on the wrong side of it. And if you do, then use a really short leash. But I mean, that's on the short side. But there'll be consolidations. I mean, I was talking about it with on stocks and jocks, just the move and everything. And the only thing I could say is, I mean, Friday might be that, how can you not like just chase at least until Friday, until the expiration?
Which stock? Which stock?
Everything.
All the chips.
Only because of
it's up,
expiration.
you buy it at the close because it's going to be up again the next day. If it's down, you don't buy it on the close because it's probably going to be down the next day unless there's news. Tale of two markets.
Joel, I thought on the subject of chasing, you were going to say that's how you landed Lisa.
Yeah,
Or was it the other way around?
Are you chasing her? She's chasing
That's
you?
a long story.
He doesn't know how to get into it.
One for another day. All right, going back to the split conversation, Dennis. I have a prediction. The next one.
I like your predictions. What is it?
SMCI.
Oh yeah, that's gonna.
I mean, that's
if we can hold above like the 800, 850 level for maybe another quarter or so, I think SMCI will be the next one to split. Which, by the way, we talked, during this incredible run, and this was back in like January, February of this year when SMCI went on that, parabolic move.
Yeah.
We talked about how compared to other parabolic moves, it's not like GameStop or something like there are fundamentals to back this, but it still drew down because it still got overextended. If SMCI continues consolidating around here, I really do think that like this, because I mean, you look at the companies working with NVIDIA and all these other companies already, and it's only a $50 billion company. I think this one, I'm watching this one. I'm not saying everyone go out and chase this one.
I don't know. Maybe we should be buying this one. I'm kind of with you. I thought it the other day too, and then it popped $100, and I was like, oh, I missed it. But we know chasing's working, so maybe we can chase it up $100. 4P is only 24 on this puppy. Current P is 49. Obviously, we don't know if there's some pull forward here. It's always the concern. Market cap 51 billion. I mean, when you got the revenue growth of 37% cooking there, and you got a large amount of sales here too. I'm just trying to grab from the quarter. Well, I don't have that data in front of me. Revenue from the last quarter is 3.85 billion, but price to sales is only 4. I mean, poof, that
Yeah.
doesn't sound that expensive.
If there's a stock in this space and it's relatively cheap or at least not super expensive on the multiple, I don't like that. To me, just check those boxes. You're good to buy it. Like, what else do you need? It's in the right space.
I'm with you.
It's in the right
I
space.
like the SMCI here, the setup. I don't have shares here yet. Every dip, if you would have bought yesterday's dip, you'd been immediately rewarded. It matched, Joel, your technicals there, your levels, 827, 825.
Oh, look at that. Matching
Bounced
low,
right
yep.
off the low from the previous day and then straight up. I mean, every time you think there's going to be a dip in these stocks, they have a little violent sell-off yesterday morning. NVIDIA had a little violent sell-off, like $3-4 what he called violent, but it felt like kind of violent, because it felt like 2% in like 2 minutes. SMCI fell, like 2% or 3% in 2 minutes too. And they just come in and they buy it back. There's so many institutional money managers that are all loaded up in this value crap. They're trying to get out of that stuff and get in the Momo trade. That they just on the value stuff they sell the rips, and on the AI stuff and the chip stuff they're buying the dips. They're chasing. The chase is
this
on.
SMCI is a little bit. I mean, the chart is definitely doesn't look like the NVIDIA or the Broadcom. I mean, you got way overdone right when you got over 1200, but I'd be concerned if this does get back to 950 pretty soon, because you had the big break, down 1200 plus to 664. You've been working your way back up. Actually, did you ever get there on the previous rallies? You got the 972. I'd like to see this. I think you got room up to this 950, 960 area, and then hold a sustained bid and get back up there. But the other chart and I don't know what's going on with this AMD here, Dennis. I mean, it has not. This has stayed in this range for like the longest time. Really, like 140 to like 174, losing half of this move here. So they're not all of them. More Micron's a different thing. Did Micron get some price target raises today?
Probably they do every day.
We got.
I thought I saw that.
Micron, Bank of America adds to US 1 list. Wedbush maintains outperform on Micron, raises price target to 170. Yesterday we had a bunch of price targets. We had a B of A raise it to 170. We had Susquehanna raise it to 185. We had Cantor Fitzgerald raise it to 180. Why do all these analysts come in right after the next one and give like a very similar
Lemmings. This is why chasing stocks is working, because the analysts are chasing, and then the analysts raise their price targets, and then the followers raise their price targets. It's just a lemming. This is what this market is. It's a bunch of lemmings. They all just chase the good stuff, and they don't, they don't even touch the bad stuff. If it's down a downtrend, heaven forbid it's in a downtrend. And you know what? It's right. I mean, I'm a lemming too. I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to adjust to be a lemming. I want to be more like a lemming, I think, because I'm too like, oh, I know something that somebody else doesn't, like, like you're thinking you've analyzed it better than the other person. And you know what? We should just chase. We should all be lemmings right now. I guess that's what we got to be. We just sell all our value crap, sell all our China crap, and just go buy all the chip stocks and buy all the NVIDIAs, because that's the only thing that's going up. Tech, mega cap tech, and chips. Everything else sucks. Let's call it how it is.
So just a quick preview for today. In about 10 minutes, we will have the U.S. retail sales, which usually isn't a huge number, but people today are saying will be a bigger deal because we're kind of at this inflection point where I think a lot of people are unsure about the state of the economy, and like a big either a big miss on the downside or a big, hotter than expected number on the upside could give some more inclinations into what's going on with the economy right now.
What do we want? What do we want? Do we want a slow? Do we want to?
I don't know. Yesterday, Johnson was saying bad news is bad news again.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to say on this for the IWM? Good news is bad news, and bad news is bad news. I think it goes down no matter what. It might pop initially on the retail sales, but if you get a light number, they'll be like, they might pop initially and say, oh yeah, light number. Oh yeah, Fed's going to lower rates. But then they're like, oh no, light number's bad. It's hard landing for IWM, sell. And then if the number's hot, they'll be like, they're never lowering rates ever again. They're going to sell. So my prediction is the IWM goes down. I'm actually short. Well, I'm long in the long-term account. I'm short in the trading account, the IWM.
So analyst.
I don't want to be long in the long-term account anymore. So I'm like, I've really of the point, like yesterday's rally in the IWM, when it went from 196 to 200, I was like, I should just sell it. Just go in my long-term account, log in, and sell all that small cap crap. Just move it all into tech. 100% tech. I told this story on the pre-market show too. So my long-term portfolio, it's diversified. Kramer, are you diversified? I'm definitely diversified. I got some value. I got some growth. I got some bonds. I got some cash. I'm all diversified all over the place.
Way too
and it goes up because NVIDIA's helped, and it's done okay and I'm at all-time highs. But my kids' portfolio, the RESP, I went all in. Zero cash, 35% NVIDIA, like 25% AMD. It's like 60% of those two stocks. And you can say AMD is not good, but we know earlier or late last year it was really good. They're in from $92. It's been pretty darn good. They got that AVAV stock, which is AeroVironment, which has just been an absolute monster. And there's like, they got a little bit of Bitcoin, which has done okay, but the Bitcoin hasn't been participating much lately. But the bottom line is they're not diversified. They're pretty much all tech. And I'm like, they're killing me, man. Here I am, I'm managing it, but I'm like, my kids' portfolio is just slaughtering me. And it's because of asset allocation. I own a lot of those same stocks, but I own them in a lot smaller percentages. They own NVIDIA 35% of the portfolio. I own NVIDIA like 3% of my portfolio. It's like, I can't keep up. There's no way to keep up. When you're that heavy in NVIDIA, you're going to kill it. So I'm like, I screwed up. I should have just been concentrated in all AI at the beginning of the year. This diversification thing sucks. It's for the birds. And I'm partially joking, but I'm partially serious there.
What about Burke? How's that doing? I was just taking a look. Obviously, the value of it.
How'd you go to Burke on this?
No, because you're talking about value. Yeah.
Can do nothing. Warren's in the gutter. He's sitting with a bunch of cash. It's okay. It had the little run in March, but in the last 3-4 months, Burke has gone absolutely nowhere. And it was loved there for a while. They couldn't stop buying Burke, even though value wasn't even really fully in favor, but they couldn't stop buying Burke. They thought Burke was a growth stock. Then they realized, no, it's a value stock. And then nothing. 4 months of nothingness. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody's silent.
I mean, we just chase. I mean, that's it. Chase.
It's simple game, folks. My best stocks are all the ones that I chased a little bit in. Just a little bit of chasing. But let's start with SMCI. Maybe the case. Maybe you're not going to get that 80-point pullback. You got it yesterday or 50-point pullback, so maybe it's coming again. But maybe you can't wait. Maybe it's got to chase. I'm with you. I think SMCI is going to be over $1,000 again. I'm writing it down. I might just actually go buy it today.
You know what? Red Bull.
Go back in. You know what's going to happen though? I'm going to buy these dang things, and then the bubble's going to pop and all this crap. That's the problem.
You know what? What's holding Warren up? That he sold a smidgen of Apple, but just think about all that Apple that he has. He's not diversified, Dennis. He's the huge in Apple, right?
He's about 20% in Apple.
Yeah.
So everybody says he's 49 or 50, but remember, half of his portfolio is private companies,
right?
So which we can't value, but we could ballpark it, and they ballpark it like 350 bill on the private stuff, 350 bill on the public stuff. That was a while ago. I don't know. It's probably moved since then. Somebody will say, well, it's 365 billion. You're wrong. I'm ballparking here, folks. But half of his money is in private companies, half his money is in public companies. Half of the public money has been in Apple, but he's been selling Apple. He's been lightening up into this. So I don't know. It's 30 times earnings. I sold my Apple back at 180. I'm an idiot. 218. Lost the bet to Joel. I owe him a steak dinner. That hurts worse than the 40 points I missed.
Yeah, it blew that 200. It blew through that 200, right? So, do we have?
Maybe Paul's right. Like if I'm FOMOing here on all this stuff, maybe it is near the top. Maybe this is it. Maybe I've peaked it. Maybe this is it. But I don't know. So I feel like chasing everything. So maybe we are coming close to a top on some of this stuff. Because I feel like just all of a sudden capitulating out of all of my value stuff that's massively underperformed, the 2 China stocks I bought that have massively underperformed, and just throwing it all in chips. So maybe you're right, Paul. Maybe this is the time. I don't know what to do. I'm probably not going to do that. I'm probably not selling all my value, but I'm saying that's what I feel like doing. So maybe you're right. Maybe this is the time where you see the reversal. Maybe retail sales in 5 minutes changes it all. But you know what? I think the IWM is going down on retail sales. It's just the way this market is.
It feels like, rather than trying to call a top right here and say, okay, the move is over, like that would feel like if you're playing musical chairs, trying to sit down before the music actually stops, like you're trying to get out ahead of it, instead of just waiting for that to happen, because eventually it will happen. We will see, whether it's a big 20% pullback in Nvidia and all these stocks, at least some consolidation, and like hopefully we'll be able to recognize that. But for right now, that music's still going, and that's why yesterday I was telling Joel in the pre-market show, I bought some SPY calls like at around like 10 a.m. for 10 cents for the 545s, and they ended up going up to I didn't sell them up here, but they got up to 350. And so I ended up making like 10x on the calls. But basically my whole point in buying them was just because, like, why today? Why would today be the day everything stops instead of people still chasing this stuff up? And that was what SPY and the Qs did on a day where Nvidia wasn't even up at all. So if had Nvidia been green yesterday, the indexes probably would have been up even more.
Right now it's working, and this show has gone off the rails here because people are saying, "What are you trying to teach us?" So you got to take this in context here. We've taught for 10 years. What we do on this show is try to identify what is working right now. I'm not, so full disclosure, I'm not going and selling all my value stuff. I'm not going 100% in AI here. I'm not doing that. It's a bit of a joke, but it's also what is working right now. So we're just identifying and saying, if you're a short-term day trader and you're coming in here and saying, I'm a day trader and I'm buying China and I'm buying value and I'm shorting AI, you are doing it absolutely wrong. If you're a long-term investor, that might work. I'm not sure. I don't know where we're going here. So that's why, from a long-term perspective, nobody, not one person in the whole world knows where we are going to be next week. Day traders can figure out where we're going to be next tomorrow, or not even tomorrow, like in the next few minutes. You got an edge there. You can see the momentum. You can see the buyers in the market. You can feel that. That's why it's a huge edge in day trading. It's why my day trading is unbelievably consistent and my investing is unbelievably inconsistent, because there's not one person. There's insiders that maybe know some information, but overall, nobody knows anything. We always say nobody knows anything. So I stay diversified in the long-term portfolio because it has worked for me for 20 years. It's not working in the last 3 months. It's absolutely not working. The diversification is keeping my portfolio not doing as well, because I have some awesome stocks in there, but I have some crap in there too. And I just said, comparatively, my kids who aren't diversified, I went all in tech, are killing me. So I'm not saying to go and do that here. I'm just saying at this moment in time, this is what is working. That's all. So I just want to clarify that, because people are going to say, Dennis, the ultimate chaser here, and the market crashed, he called the top. I mean, people are going to say, I've been bullish NVIDIA the whole time. If NVIDIA crashed tomorrow, Dennis peaked it. I'm like, well, I called it a 400, buddy. So I definitely didn't peak it. I was bullish at 500, 600, 700, 800, 900,000, 1100, 12, 1300. He's bullish at 1300. He's an idiot. Don't follow him. Whatever.
All right, we're a minute away from this retail sales.
Yeah, let's have some fun here.
We are having fun. This is a fun show. We were having fun until the chat took everything serious. So I don't know. I honestly, my opinion is, I'm going wide. My opinion is the IWM goes down no matter what, just because they absolutely hate it. That's my opinion. And that's not like a joke. That's just where we are right now. That's where this market is. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't have a crystal ball. If I'm right 52% of the time, make money. This might be the 48% of the time. But right now, I don't want to be anywhere near long any of the small cap crap.
All right, 15 seconds here. We're looking for the retail sales number. Good news be good news, or good news be bad news, or what the heck?
I think that goes up no matter what, and IWM goes down no matter what.
Okay.
Just because.
Not much in here. I'll just give you yesterday's high, that all-time high, 55, 61.
IWM going up. Sell the rip.
All right, we're going up. We're going up nicely.
I might sell the rip.
Retail sales came in light, 0.1% versus 0.3% estimated. So that might be kind of, I've just seen the headline number. Oh, and core came in down 0.1% versus a positive 2% expectation. So that is without, what is that? You exclude auto and gasoline for the core. So I don't know. I mean, maybe this is seen as like a Goldilocks type number because it was still positive, but not hot. Again, I'm not positive, but the what are we doing on the overall market, Joel? Little pop.
I mean, we got a little pop. We made a new high for the session. It seems to be well bid up here, and not really that well offered. The only thing we have on the upside is that high from yesterday, 54.61. But it's just seems like it's just they take the number, whatever for it is, and just maintaining the bid. I'll take a look at the IWM. That's up 43 cents. That got a little bit of a pop here. Let me go to the pre-market action. It just kind of feel like, that did get a pop. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it is. Sell the rip.
It did. It did.
It's already popped. It popped the initial algos because the algos are stupid, and it pops. Yep. But we're in this trend here that's just relentlessly down for the IWM, and people just want to sell every rip. So they're already human beings coming in. It's like, IWM's up 60 cents, 70 cents, sell. And it's giving it back. It can't even. It's 1 minute after the number, and it's already giving it all back. Maybe it's going to go higher. This number should theoretically probably bring the IWM higher, but they just hate it. They're going to look at what's the opposite of a silver lining, AB? The opposite.
Black cloud.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, canary in the coal mine.
Is there something? Can we create something for that? Chat, what's the opposite of a silver lining? Because, tech chips, they're all like silver lining, like they'll find the silver lining. The IWM, they find the anti-silver lining. They find the reason to sell it even in good news. Like we said, the PC and the CPI last week. It's unbelievable that the IWM did not rally on that. It's unfathomable to me that we sold off that heavy on all that. We rallied for like an hour, and then they just give it all back. I'm telling you, man, overhead supply is powerful.
Would you like all that glitters is not gold? Every rose has its thorn, or fly in the ointment?
I don't like any of those, really, to be honest with you.
All right, S&P's.
Dark cloud cover, stumbling block.
Yeah, I was
Chat's
close.
got a lead in the balloon. Chat's got a few, too. Glass is half empty. Yeah, the glass is always half empty.
Skinner in the net.
Skinner in the net. Skinner versus Bobrovsky. That's what this market is. Really, IWM, Skinner, and Bobrovsky's the Qs. That's the problem with the Oilers. If we would have had Bobrovsky,
we're leaking, Dennis. We're leaking. We're leaking a little
bit.
Dennis called.
The Qs are leaking a little bit. The Qs are leaking a little bit.
I'm gonna have Hayden write the article right now. Dennis put the top in the market right now. I'm gonna have him go through and listen to the show.
I topped it. It was my bad calls that lost everybody their money.
Yeah. We're losing unchanged here on the session, right? We are now in the red. IWM has now lost almost a stick.
Did I not just call that? The thing went up a buck.
He said sell the rip.
But somebody will say I said it all wrong.
But here's
I just called that. Man, I should just listen to myself more often. Write
that
down. Sell the rip. It was going up. I was like, sell the rip. There it is. Bad news is bad news. Good news is bad news. You own small caps. You suck. I own some small caps in the long-term portfolio. That part of my portfolio really sucks. Thank goodness I got some AI.
As soon as we do get a, say, 5% pullback in NVIDIA, which I think we did a couple weeks ago, there will be people that will be very quick to call the top when, throughout the last year and a half, what's been working has been buying the dips on NVIDIA. So it might be hard to tell, like, is it a dip to buy? Is it the top? And my whole thing and like what I've been going with today and like the title of the show chasing is like, I'll keep buying those dips on NVIDIA until I'm proven wrong. And I probably will get burned on one eventually where it draws down 20%. But until then,
20%. NVIDIA going down 20%.
It's happened before, Joel. It's happened before.
It's
happen again. I'm with AP. That'll happen again at one point in time. I don't know if it's up another 100% by then, though.
Yeah, it might go to 200 and then go back to 160. But either way, I'll be willing to buy any dip on NVIDIA from here on out in the interim until, again, I'm proven wrong. It's like innocent till proven guilty. Right now, NVIDIA can't do no wrong. And, again, so I'll just be buying any dips here, but we'll see how long that chasing will work because ultimately there will come a time where the chasing stops working. I just don't think that's today, but maybe we'll go back and watch this episode and say this is where we topped.
This was the top. When we made the show, the case for Chase, and it's an aggressive name for sure. That's the topping show. It very well might be. Maybe
Well,
this is it. The
Rose-
NVIDIA bubble bursts today. It might. It's going to burst eventually. There is a little bit of a bubble here. I'm not saying NVIDIA is not worth, and it's going to be, I think eventually still NVIDIA is, but this is ridiculous. We're from 95 to 131. We are up, what is that? 35% in a month? On a the thing went from 2 trillion to 3 trillion in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
it's overbought.
All right,
There's no doubt that every chip stock in NVIDIA, they're all overbought. Does that mean they sell off today, tomorrow, next week, next month? I don't know.
Yeah, overbought and oversold.
It is hard to chase them. So we've been making the case for chase, and I think at the end of the conclusion here is I don't have it in me to chase. It's just not in me. I'm not built that way. So maybe as a day trader, I'll chase. As a long-term investor, can't do it. I can't go buy NVIDIA now. SMCI really hasn't. I could get talked in the SMCI because it hasn't really went. And I don't feel like you're chasing as much there. But AVGO up 400 points and basically 4 trading sessions. CMG is running its pre-split. I think the case for chase from my perspective here is I just can't do it. It's not in me.
Well, if you buy SMCI, you can still you're kind of chasing in a way because NVIDIA keeps going up. SMCI probably.
Yeah.
But you're not feeling like you're chasing as much. You're not feeling like you're buying the stock at
Why don't we get a different perspective on this?
Let's go
Please.
ahead. Let's go ahead.
Please.
And bring Adam Mesh making his pre-market prep debut. We'll give him our special welcome and see Adam's thoughts on this market. All right, Adam Mesh joining us, founder of Wealth Pop from T3 Trading. Adam, how are you doing this morning?
I'm great. Enjoying listening to this conversation. We're very like-minded, so I appreciate it.
Are you willing to chase? That's the first question.
I'm so late to chasing, but I embraced the chase, and once I did, I got to admit, it feels good. It's freeing. It's freeing to go with it.
If you can't beat him, join him, right?
Yeah, I mean, like what you guys were saying earlier about buying those SPY calls. At the end of the day, why not? Like I started doing it like 10 years too late, but it still feels good.
All right. Well, before we get going, because I know this is our first time having you join, I was on your Twitter earlier. I think we just got to get it out of the way. Are you a Michigan fan? Are you a UMich guy?
Yeah, I am. I was at the national championship game. Big University of Michigan fan.
Oh man.
Well, okay. Well, now I don't know why we don't have you on like every single week, right?
I'm going to get replaced here now.
Yeah. But just overall, talk to us about what you do over there at T3, how you like to, approach the market, your favorite trading instruments, things of that nature.
Sure. So I began as a day trader in the late 90s. So I used to trade all the internet stocks, trading. And then when they had pre-market and aftermarket hours, I would do that too. Just sit there all day, wouldn't grab lunch. That was 10 years. And then I switched into options around 2014. And I spent the last 10 years trading options. And so right now it's pretty much, unless it's like a cheap, like under $5 stock where I'm just going to buy the stock, I'm trading options. I love to collect premium unless I'm doing one of those day of options expiration where you could own NVIDIA for 10 cents and take it for a ride.
Lottery tickets.
But like what I recommend to, when I'm speaking to anyone, I think of it as friends and family. What would I tell my friends and family? I always like a premium collection component. Simply because mathematically it's going to give you that advantage to win. But this hasn't really been a great market for selling premium. It's a straight up market. And so, volatility is very low. But that's what I do.
And then Adam, I mean, as far as right now, we've got the market hitting new all-time highs. I mean, like, are you looking specifically at what stocks are leading the market? Are you looking at maybe some that have been lagging for a catch-up trade? What's been catching your eye recently?
And I'll be honest, I like evaluate myself in this respect. And I think more than anything, it's almost like surfing. I'm going out there, and this isn't investment advice. Like, I have my money managed somewhere else. Thank God someone put me in NVIDIA years ago and held it for me. That wasn't me. For me, I'm looking to take advantage of daily, weekly moves in the market. So it's like surfing. I'm looking for waves. So what's in play, what's moving. I look for what's trending. So I've even been trading GameStop lately because it moves so much that you get that instant gratification if you're right. NVIDIA, yes, I've been trading. Palantir yesterday. Uber is a stock I like to trade. So anything with liquid weekly options that moves. The only thing I don't want is to buy something and have it just sit there. That makes me go nuts.
Yeah. Well, unless you're selling options, then maybe it's okay. But
Correct. Very correct.
So your strategy revolves around like day trading options, short term or weeklies. Like what? Talk about your option trading a little bit more.
So my ideal trade would be I call it a mesh trade. There's all these, bull put spreads, diagonal credit spreads. I have my own mesh trade.
Nice.
So I'll put on a long-term bull put spread, okay, in a stock that I'm bullish on. And then I'll sell weekly bear call spreads against it to collect
cool.
rent. So it's the same thing as, if I was selling puts and selling calls, but I don't like to have that naked exposure. And the people who follow me never really want to own stock. So everything I do is in a credit spread. But that's my favorite trade. So like Palantir right now is trading at 25. I might go and sell the August 23-20 bull put credit spread. Mm-hmm. But then each week I'll sell above it the 26, 28, the 27, 29, and just look to keep collecting rent as that long-term option expires. That's my
strategy.
That's the base of trading. So I know I have income coming in. There's the winning component. I'll also, last week, end of the week, the Russell, you guys were talking about the Russell. It came down from let me just look. It came down from 203 down to the 198, 199 area. So I put on a bear call spread. I sold the 203, 206 calls. Okay, bearish trade. I just wanted to stay below 203. The next day it continued on downward. I covered it because I made half my max profit. Like I sold them for 74 cents. I bought them back for 30. That was a fun trade. And then in between that, I'll look for those what's hot for the day, and I might buy just calls for an hour. That's the stuff that you have to be sitting there to do. So if I'm sitting watching the market and something looks like it's going to go either way, it's going to be exciting.
So you go grab like at 3 o'clock, you're grabbing like the daily expiration there, and you got like 1 hour expiration, but you're thinking could be a move here. So taking a shot on a really cheap call.
A great example would be a couple weeks ago, there was news on Tesla that they might not make that cheaper version of the car.
Yeah.
And the stock dropped like 8 points in 10 minutes. Yeah. And I was in it. So I started buying puts. I didn't even have time to see what was going on. I was just buying the puts because you could tell something was happening. The volume was picking up, the speed. And then it started to settle down. You're watching it. And then Musk comes out and says, no, we are. And then so you're buying the calls. And like you can make a lot of money in a short period of time if you're sitting there paying attention to the right stocks. That's when it gets exciting. Yesterday, GameStop had a 10-minute period where it went from 28 to 24. And I'm not coming on your show advocating for people to trade GameStop. I know it's a dangerous stock. Just for me lately, it's been what's moving, and it's very easy to just kind of surf those moves.
Do you pay attention to technical analysis, or is it just more order flow, news, and feel for the market?
So my technical analysis is momentum. I'm paying attention to. I love stocks that are up on a high amount of volume on no news. But I do have a CMT I work with, Christian Thorpe. So any call I come on, he does a technical breakdown of the market to start. And so we're talking about where can we go on the upside? Where can we go on the downside? And once we have that outlook, that's how I approach it. So if he's bullish, I'm looking for long positions. If he's bearish, I'm probably looking for a bearish position. So it is a top-down approach with the technicals. And he's saying exactly what you guys are saying. He comes on, he goes, well, no surprise here. Looks like we're going to continue higher. It's very rare that anything has diverged from that lately. Maybe it will someday, but right now it is. The formula is just close your eyes and buy.
It's a Momo market right now on both sides, where you got loved stocks and hated stocks, and it's hard to like turn them around. Like we were talking obviously before he came on, and the IWM just seems like all those 2,000 stocks there. It's like they rally a little bit, and then sellers are just coming back in because they just have no momentum whatsoever. And then you have the the chip stocks like Micron. It goes up every day. AVGO goes up every day. I mean, how do you stay on the right side of momentum? Is it just just going with what's trending higher? And then two, do you ever play any contrarian calls?
I try to avoid the contrarian play. Like, I'm not diving into something that's going in against me. I'd rather jump on as it's already going down than trying to pick tops and bottoms. That I think trying to pick tops and bottoms is a tough game.
Really
the guy I'm speaking with later today, Tom Sosnoff, he is the ultimate contrarian. He loves jumping in against the moving trains. But you're so right about what you were saying earlier. Like, if you had a long-term portfolio, that's what's crazy about this market. It keeps hitting all-time highs. But if you were invested in SoFi and Penn Gaming and DraftKings, you're doing terrible.
Yeah.
So it's not everything goes up. It's certain things go up. And the shorter your outlook, the more you have to be willing to pivot to what's hot and what's in play. And that's kind of what's gotten me to be more successful this year, is to stop trying to trade all stocks as if they're going to follow the market and really focus on what's in play now, with the expectation, like you guys are saying, that it's not going to be in play tomorrow. Like that momentum could be very short-lived, unless it's in NVIDIA, unless it's one of those bigger players, here today, gone tomorrow. Don't expect any kind of continuation, get in, get out. That's it. But trading longer term levels is still something that works. Like Penn Gaming was like it got stuck around 15. It stopped going down. And then they came out and said, oh, we're going to bring in new board members and look for new strategic plays, blah, blah, blah. And the stock goes up 3 or 4 points. But it settled on that 15 level before that happened.
Do you buy in anticipation of the headlines, or do you wait till you see a headline and say, that's a headline that could turn this story around, I'm going to go in now?
So if you see the unusual volume picking up, if you see a stock trending in play with no news, usually you're going to get the headline a little bit after that. So that is my ideal scenario, is to be ahead of that.
Anticipation.
But if you look at post headlines, that's a loser's game. Like Paramount. Like, imagine trying to trade these Paramount headlines every day. Like, all it does is go down on them. Every time they say something good, it goes up and then right down. But if you trade like that Tesla, that was trending down before they came out and said they're not going to make the cheap car. Uber was trending up before they came out with like a favorable court ruling or something that came out. I don't even remember what the news was, but it shot up after it was already trending.
Yeah.
But usually the upgrades come a little bit after the stock starts trending up too.
Well, Adam, you talked about your mesh trades. Joel calls my trades mensch trades. But speaking of your trades, what can users expect if they join this room with you and Tom Sosnoff? We've got the QR code in the bottom of the screen, as well as a link in the description.
So that's the call today. I do that once a month with Tom.
Okay.
He invented. He started Thinkorswim, sold it, and then he started Tasty Trade. He's the ultimate options trader. So I just interview him once a month, and we talk about everything there is related to options and the best option strategies for this market. And it's just a free call at 4:15 where we just talk about the market, and people learn a lot. So, it's kind of just like a best foot forward where people could come on and literally learn everything there is about options from a guy who's like a billionaire, which is cool.
Well, there you go. So if you want more from Adam, go check out his room. Again, QR code in the bottom of the screen. We'll be doing a call with Tom Sosnoff later. Link in the description as well. Adam, this has been an awesome conversation. We've loved having you on. We got to get you on again sometime soon.
No, we're very like-minded. I was loving listening to you guys before I came on, and I could talk to you all day. So have a great trading day. I appreciate you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Adam.
it. Have a great Tuesday.
Bye.
All right, guys, we've got about 10 minutes left of the show. Let's go. I want to go back to DraftKings real quick because Adam mentioned it, and there actually was news yesterday. It went up like 7%.
Yeah.
After it was on some favorable court rulings
in Florida.
Yeah. So Florida, unlike other states, has these, seminal casino laws where basically, you know, Native Americans have like a monopoly on gaming down there, and the only way to bet, don't ask me how I know this, but the only way to bet legally through a mobile app is through like the Hard Rock Casino, which I guess is owned by one of the Seminole resorts. But now they're saying they might reverse that, and that DraftKings and FanDuel, et cetera, might be able to enter that market, which Florida, pretty big market. You know, if you're one of those apps as well. We had news a couple weeks ago that Illinois was raising its taxes on gambling winnings, which hurt the stocks and brought them
Yeah.
lower. And people are worried that those tax laws were going to go to other states. And then New Jersey basically came out and said, no, we're not going to do this, or at least they're pushing it back. So got a pop on two different kind of things yesterday, but closed up around 7%.
Yeah. This stock too has been out of favor for about a month and a half, and especially on that Illinois news when it went down there. But this stock still overall is very much a loved stock. So I would put it in the market likes it group. So I think you actually are a buyer of dips on DraftKings. You know, maybe obviously it was 2021, it was $70, but in the last year and a half, the stock's been trending higher. It's definitely best of breed. I mean, from all the gambling sites, it's best of breed. And obviously, you know, it's Flutter, the trades out there, Penn, you know, and Caesar's got some. But DraftKings is your pure sports betting play. And I just think it's just going to continue. Like, people like betting on sports. AB, you love it. I mean, you know, it makes the games exciting. You know, I'm not a big sports bettor, but because I don't feel like I have an edge there, and I'm always about an edge. But I mean, it's still, people love betting and they love doing it. I have a lot of my friends the same thing. They've got all accounts and they do it as well. And they're not getting rich on it, but they're having fun with it. I just don't think it goes away. And I think, you know, this is, you know, something that I actually would like to have in the longer term portfolio. I always like buying dips. I don't like chasing here. So I don't know if I'm chasing yesterday's.
It's a great area. It's a great technical area. Yeah, this is probably the chart of the day here. I love my retracements, right? You got little head over heels here, 49.57, broke down to the 34 handle. Nice pop yesterday. High just over 42, another high back at 42 on May 23rd. It's also the 50% retracement of this entire move. So boom, right now only down a nickel. So let's see if there's some size in this area, but you get a sustained 42 bid here. I'd use that as a really good swing number. Things really look wide open up to, you know, really the daily highs are far apart up to 46. On the other hand, you get a big seller. Someone doesn't want to budge off 42. Then really you have a ways to go to find support. Also, you had the close up there yesterday at 41.95. So that's the level of the day right there. DraftKings. Let's see what it does at 42. Penn has been Penn. It gets its pop. Yesterday it's had its pop, but still, I haven't looked at Win. Have you looked at Win in a while?
They've been in the gutter, man.
Yeah.
Again, this is the economy slowing a little bit that's hurting these. Like, it's one thing, like you could say, well, DraftKings, it's gambling. Win is like, you're going to these casinos, you're spending a lot of money, you're like, you know, going, and obviously they have, you know, the whole, you know, it's vacation too, right? So these stocks just haven't been doing well here in the last couple of months. This is the slowdown getting hit. Las Vegas Sands, Win, MGM, all kind of starting to look a little bit uglier. Like, this is the economy, old school. And you know what? There's not a lot of AI here either. So I like DraftKings better than the traditional casinos right now.
I'd agree with that. And I think, you know, some people in the chat are talking about it. I think over time, in the next few years, we may see some sort of a kind of reckoning in this space. You know, probably a lot of young people that you know, end up losing money or get addicted to the gambling. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some regulation come in this space in terms of limiting how much, you know, these companies can advertise and market themselves and offer all these crazy promotions and whatnot. But for right now, until that happens, just my gut check, like, I'll be out somewhere and there'll be a table of people like sitting next to me, and you could just hear like everyone's talking about their parlay or what bet they have on their game. Like, it's like it seems like, feels like everyone's doing it right now, and there's no way everyone's winning. So like, these companies like DraftKings at least has to be making some money. I don't know about all the other ones, because like you said, they have all these in-person investments as well, whether that be the actual casinos or the horse tracks, whatever. But the apps seem very hot still. But I wouldn't be, you know, buy and hold forever DraftKings, but you know, for right now, I do think it seems like there's a lot of activity still there.
They want to talk Palantir in the chat, and I don't know if we mentioned this one yesterday. It was Argus gave them a buy rating, and it wasn't responding well in the pre-market, but once the stock opened, it ripped all day. It's been in consolidation station here for a while, and I do like the technicals on this. Valuation, I've never been able to wrap my head around this one, but from a technical perspective, this is one of those sleepy AI plays. Obviously, we liked it at $8-9, and I sold it way too soon and screwed it up. I always sell too soon. This looks constructive here around 24, 25. I want to throw it to Joel and see what he thinks on the technicals, but I actually think this is starting to perk up.
You got a great level on the upside. I was trying to get my horizontal line. So I think I didn't want to do a retracement. I think if you're in this right now, here, let's get rid of that. There's room. I can't tell you where the support is. I mean, if it holds the close, but this 25.5 area, look at it peaked here when it was coming down in March, a couple days there, another couple days and hung out at 25.5. That spike up in May went to 25.36. Yesterday, it got into the 25 handle. So right here, I mean, that's not that far away. But that's what I'd be looking at is room on the upside, major resistance. You get a bit above that. Well, maybe you get a look at the recent high closer to 27. But that many highs in the same area, at least the first time up, looks like good resistance. And I mean, if you want to, try and buy it unchanged, give yourself a little bit of room if it gets back, up to that area for a shorter term trade. But big day yesterday for Palantir.
Yeah, this is one I will say that even as like a retail darling, I've never really been in. Not my favorite. I probably won't be touching Palantir here, but the chart, like you said, Joel, I mean, yesterday's price action
Big day.
in accordance with the name of the show, chasing's been working. We'll see if that continues to work for Palantir here. Let's see. Oh, another stock we should mention that's just been hated. Celsius went down again yesterday with the market making new all-time highs. You talk about, a sell-off here, and Celsius has now drawn down, I want to say, more than 30% from its highs, which was like less than a month ago. May 24th, it was at $95. Now it is at $58. It has drawn down 38.7% in less than a month here. And I mean, again, like this has been a retail favorite. I still see the product everywhere. People are still drinking them all the time, but the valuation, I guess, just got a little out of hand.
It's having its Lulu moment here, and it's not a good thing because when the growth starts to slow, or you see signs where it's starting to slow and you trade with a nosebleed multiple, again, the value investors are saying, you're nuts, and the growth investors are saying, well, it's slowing down, so I don't want it either. So I've always talked for years, I've talked about that pocket. You have value investors here and growth investors here. When the growth's going good, the growth investors will carry it. Well, the value investors are still way down here, but when the growth starts to slow and the momentum starts to slow, these guys want out. There's nobody to get out to because the value investors are like, no, we're way down here. So Lululemon, Celsius, growth starting to slow a little bit. Value investors are way down here, although they're coming closer for Lululemon. Eventually get into a value area, but Celsius, it's way down here. And that's the issue. And that's why you see the fall so drastic so quickly here, because Momo guys want out and value guys are nowhere to be found. So that's the issue that Celsius is going through, having its Lululemon here moment right now. I'm not sure. Maybe they can get the growth back. If the growth comes back, the Momo guys come back in. But until you start seeing, really blowing it away here in the next quarter, maybe we got to wait for the next quarter. They're concerned here that obviously the growth is slowing.
News turn that one. We covered that. I believe it was Nielsen came out with some sales data. So, and that was this big red bar down here where it had on May 28th. And then you got the pause. So, but I guess this applies too. I guess you could just be chasing this on the downside here, but traded up 88 cents. So it's holding off yesterday's low. But this one, I remember, I know it's it's split and it's done different things, but it will find. I remember when it traded this $50 area. I don't know if it's going to get that low on the break, but look at that setup it gave you on the monthlies. On the bottom right chart, you had 5 monthly lows in the same area. We're far from developing that right now, but just something to keep an eye on for Celsius Holdings.
All right, 9 a.m. Joel, who do we got coming on with us tomorrow?
Nobody.
Huh, it's
We got
true.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah,
And
it's
Yeah,
a
you
day
said
off.
you said at the top of the show that it's like a Wednesday, but it's really more like a Thursday for me, at least, because on Thursdays I don't work the following day.
Oh, exactly. We're going to take the day off tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely blazing here, but
So
we're going to,
hot.
yeah.
It's like smoking up in Georgian Bay. You typically like 80 degrees in the middle of the summer. That's how hot you usually get, 80, 81. We don't get like much hotter than that. It is 90 degrees yesterday. Summer hasn't even officially started. It was so hot. They were doing my driveway, the asphalt guys. I felt so bad for them with hot asphalt. I'm looking out there and thinking, man, I complain about my job every once in a while, and obviously have pockets of, slowness and stuff, but I'm like, that's a tough job, man. Doing asphalt on 90-degree days. Feel bad for those guys.
Yeah,
that's a
but
lot.
we'll talk to Mr. Shaken on Thursday.
Let's do it. Mark Chaikin on Thursday. We'll be looking forward to that. Hope everyone enjoys their, the market close tomorrow. If you have work off, hope you enjoy the day off. And we will, we'll see you guys on Thursday. Thank you as always for tuning in. Thank you to T3 and Adam Mesh. With that, hope everyone stays green today. We will see you guys on Thursday.